I'm LaDonna Lockard, and this is Max Convos. I'm back again today with Steven Wynands. Steven, you are the co-founder, president of Redder. It is so good to have you back here, my friend. How are you? How are
I'm
things?
good. Thank you for having me back. Don't forget, I'm also the lead janitor over here and the custodian, the cook, everything. So thank you for
You
having me
are.
back.
It's my pleasure. It is my pleasure. I know part of why I wanted to have you back so early in the year because it hasn't been that long since we last spoke, but the renewal period closed for anyone who was trying to reinstate a late license. I wanted to have you back to talk about those finalized numbers. What are you seeing?
Well, we got those numbers on March 1st, and I can tell you that it's not as bad as we thought, but it is as bad as we thought.
Okay,
And so,
elaborate. Give me
all right.
more.
So last time we spoke, we said we lost 21,225 loan officers. Turns out the number is lower. It's 20,010, but that's still 10% of those that did a loan the previous year. Because the way our data works is we're getting stuff all the time, all over the place from all different counties all over the country. And so the numbers change to reflect that, but it's still 10%. And it looks like, I don't know if you see the same thing, but 1% of people were late in their renewals. And I'm assuming you kind of see that same thing every year. There's always 1% of people who don't meet the deadline.
Absolutely. You bet there is. I don't know. I think for some people, one, they get to the end of the year. And I think for some, it really is an honest mistake of, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that this state had a state elective hour. Now I have to go and do late CE and go through the renewal process. I think for others, it is a more conscious decision of, hey, I'm licensed in these 15 states. I've never done a loan in these two. I'm not going to worry about renewing it. And then all of a sudden they get a lead in one of those states and they're like, okay, just kidding. I actually do want to keep that license. So it does make sense why it is only 1% that kind of jump back in. I get it. The numbers check out. They make sense. What are you kind of seeing and what are you kind of thinking by way of opportunity, though? Because that's a significant drop at the end of the day. That's still a very significant portion of the MLOs who are now no longer in the industry. What type of opportunity does that open up?
Yeah, that's the really interesting thing because we've seen what it's about 4 years of LO count drop, like 3 solid years of drops. But everyone's estimating that the next 2 years are supposed to go up. So Housing Wire thinks we're going to have 5% more existing home sales this year. NAR
Okay.
says 9% increase. And then the years after that, they're thinking 13%. So for those that are sticking around, now is that time to secure those agent relationships because you're not just doing it for now. Like if you can get an agent, you provide that value to an agent, you're with them for the next 7 years, right? Their average lifespan. And so now is the time to be here if you're going to be here. That's what I think.
I really like that mindset. Those numbers to me are interesting of 5% and 9%. I would love to know how they come up with their economic forecast, but that's another conversation for another time. I do feel like, and I've been saying this more and more, so many people were saying thrive in 2025. And now I'm like, I feel like it's maybe another year of survive 2025. But if you can make it through this year, you've already made it through a couple of tough years. I feel like that's pretty promising for the amount of people who are still in it. They are probably the ones who can't survive another year. So the opportunity is there. There's still plenty of good things coming out. And hopefully, in the next couple of years, if you can make it through 2025, then you'll really get to thrive outside of it. What I think will be interesting, and I want to talk to you more about this, so we're actually going to hop over and go do another Take It to the Max, is how we start getting new LOs recruited into the industry. Because the average age of LOs right now is something like 57 years old. We're pushing kind of that same demographic as what pilots have. And so there's going to be this mass retirement coming up, and we really need to start figuring out how we're going to bring new people into the industry. I want to hear your thoughts on that, but I know we're going to go a little bit long, so let's hop over. Let's go do a Take It to the Max. What do you say?
I would love that. And I think another thing we should be thinking about is just trying to exist till 26.
Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Stephen, I'm taking that. I'll make sure to cite you for it, but exist till 26. I love it. Well, my friend, you're the greatest. Thank you for providing us with those updated numbers. Thank you for all of the work that you're doing at Rudder to make sure that people have that accurate information. Let's pop over. Let's go do a Take It to the Max. And for Max Convos, I'm LaDonna Lockard.
For more on these and all of today's top stories, go to nationalmortgageprofessional.com.